Okay. Oh, it did. Okay, cool. All right. Hello. This is mob programming, my first team. This was an experience report written and published through the Agile Alliance August last year. It is my story. I'm going to present it to you. I hope you enjoy it. So that brings me to who am I? Well, I'm a software developer with over 20 years of experience developing software. I've kind of been a legacy code expert. I enjoy going into companies with failed projects and working in other people's crap code. I realize that makes me odd, but that is who I am. I'm a functional programmer, at least relatively new. I have been seriously pursuing functional programming now for 2 years, and playing with it for just over 3. My name is Jason Kerney. I'm easily reached through Twitter, and this is me. And that did not turn out too well. Different screen resolution. All right, so what we're going to do is I want to tell you a little bit about what this talk is. This talk is my story. It's an experience report. All right? You'll notice in the list of things that I described about myself, the one thing I did not say that I was.
Don't touch the cable.
I didn't touch the cable. I didn't touch anything. I didn't touch anything. It just this.
You're back. You're good.
Yeah. Oh. Is it back?
Wait for it. Wait.
Okay. Cool. I will back away from the machine, and I will definitely walk over there. Okay. So you'll notice that I did not describe myself as a salesperson, or a contractor, or a trainer. That's because I am not these things. I am not here to sell you on mob programming. In fact, I won't even recommend it for you. All right? This is a system that works really well in my context for my company. So what is this talk? What's the purpose of it? I have 3 goals. The first of which is we do a lot of unusual things to make mob programming successful. If you find any one of these things useful, I've accomplished something great. 2, if you ever decide you want to try mob programming, there was a lot of lessons learned in order to make it work for me. I intend to share those so that you don't have to duplicate those errors. And 3, it is a story, and I hope to entertain you. If I accomplish any one of these goals, I will consider it a success. All right? So, what is mob programming? Now, please forgive me for a second, but I like to describe mob programming backwards. I like to work from the artifacts up to a definition. Okay? So I'm going to try that. The first thing about mob programming is it takes place on the same computer. There's one computer central to what mob programming is. On that computer, we're working on the same thing. That means a task is dedicated to a computer until it's completed. And then we move on to the next task. So far, this doesn't sound at all different from anything anyone ever does in a program. But you'll notice there's a large hole in the statement. And that hole is that we are working together. Mob programming is a highly collaborative effort. So we're working together on the same thing, on the same computer. Right? And who is working on that? Everybody. All the people. I'd like to caveat this for a moment. When I wrote this paper for the Agile Alliance, there were 5 of us last August. We're currently a team of 18. When I say all the people, I obviously do not mean all 18 of us. So what do I mean when I say all the people? I mean everybody who has something to contribute to the task at hand. Often it starts with 3 to 5 programmers. But beyond the programmers, we have other people from the company come, sit with us, and work with us on code. We've had finance people, HR people, marketing, sitting with us as we're coding. Last week, we had people from production manufacturing working with us. People who specialize in building actual little things that are real, tangible, you can hold. They were sitting with us while we were working on something for them. So what is mob programming? Mob programming is all the people working together on the same thing, on the same computer at the same time. This is what it looks like. So, how did we become a mob? Right? Mob programming was discovered with an act of humility. Before we started mob programming, we were a very traditional development shop. There were 5 developers all working on their own deadlines, their own projects, at their own computer. One of them was given a task that outpaced his skill. He looked at it and realized there was no way he was going to make the deadline for that task. And so he turned to his fellow teammates and said, I need help. Now they all had their own deadlines and their own tasks, but they stormed together. They surged to help him. They booked a meeting room, and in that meeting room, they started talking about how they were going to fix this problem, how they were going to approach it. Quickly, they started talking about code. As soon as they started talking about code, someone said projected on the wall. And so they projected the code. Once they had the code projected, they started working on it together. An hour came by, so they knocked on the window. They gathered the stuff and hurriedly booked another room. This went on for about 2 weeks, going from meeting room to meeting room. When they were done, they completed the project on time. Now, everybody still had their own projects that they had to complete. But they did something that is called a retrospective. A retrospective is a formalized way to look back at what just happened and gain some good from it. Learn from it. And try to improve your process. What came out of the retrospective is everyone said they would have been more productive than they ever had been. And that they were going to continue to do this on all projects. The manager at the time had the foresight to not refuse them, to not deny them. And that is how mob programming was born. So, I've told you about myself. I have told you what mob programming is. And I have told you why and how it came along. So my question to you is this. Does anyone out there have any ideas why we're a mob? Why do we choose to work this way? Anyone?
So you pair program, you achieve more than the sum of people that are together.
Good answer. Anyone else?
Hold each other accountable.
Good one.
Because we're social animals.
Good.
It's fun.
All these are correct. But the reason that we are a mob is because we want to be. This is an important part of our context that actually allows it to work. No one has dictated this from the top down. No one has forced us to do this. And if we find something better, we'll do it. But for right now, this works for us. So, in all things there are rules. We have a few rules that we live by. We apply to each other, to how we interact with other people in the company, how we interact with the community at large, and people in general. We hold ourselves accountable to these rules. We're human, so we're not perfect. Obviously, we will slip up. So here are the rules. The first is that we show kindness. All right? Kindness is resisting the quit. Right? Holding back harsh words. Thanking someone when they've helped you. After kindness comes consideration. Consider experiences. Consider the mood that they might be in. Consider the fact that they are here doing their best. After consideration, we need to show respect. Respect what they say. Respect the fact that someone can be wrong. And allow them to be wrong. Respect that someone may have something to learn. Or maybe they have something to teach. That because they disagree with you, they might not be wrong. I got to this point in the presentation while I was rehearsing at home. And my daughter, who's in 3rd grade, started laughing. I stopped and I asked her why was she laughing. She told me these are the same morals that are in her classroom. That made me smile. I've come to think of these as the classroom rules now. They're simple. They're not easy, but they're profound. I want each of you to think just for a second. Take one day out of your life and imagine what that day would be like if every single person you interacted with showed you kindness, consideration, and respect. I bet it improved the quality of that day. After the rules, we have things that kind of help us be productive. Help us maintain those rules, help us keep moving. We have our tools. You know, that word tools kind of leaves a bitter taste on my tongue. So maybe not tools. Maybe there's a better analogy. Let's call it maybe guidelines. The problem with guidelines is in this industry, they're often a synonym for the rules that we actually don't follow. Right? I don't want you to think of guidelines as those things. I want you to think of guidelines as the lines on the road. Yeah, we can cross them, and we often do. But when we do so hopefully with intent. And then we rectify ourselves, put ourselves in the same position soon after. So these are things that help us be productive, that we occasionally break, but when we do so intentionally, and we quickly go back to them unless we found something better. The first guideline is the timer. This is an app that was written by our director before he was our director. It flashes up on the screen, covers up everything so you can't see underneath it, and it tells people to switch their position on the keyboard. Alright? This has a couple of benefits. The first of which is that you're working with a group of people at a single computer. Rotating the person with the keyboard hopefully doesn't leave. We have a few members with carpal tunnel syndrome, and they found some relief through this. Alright? The other thing is that we found that you think differently about code when you're sitting at the keyboard versus when you're not. And so by rotating through people at the keyboard, everyone gets a chance to think about the code in different ways. This goes hand in hand with the next guideline we use, which is, we call it the driver navigators. Right? So the driver is responsible for mechanically getting the code to where it needs to go. They're the person at the keyboard. The navigators, on the other hand, are responsible for determining how it's going to get there. You know, larger concepts. You know, what is the route that we're going to take? And in theory, the person at the keyboard is translating the thoughts of everybody around him into code. In fact, we ask that if the person at the keyboard is the one with the idea, if it's a short idea, they turn around and they give it to everybody else before it comes back into the code. Or if they've got a larger idea, they step away from the keyboard in order to force communication. We want to make sure that everyone understands what's going on. And there's another little side effect of this. I like to think of it as the wolf effect. Right? When a pack of wolves howl, no two wolves howl at the same frequency. But when a pack of developers are coding, no two developers are thinking about the same thing. It's boring to do so. So for instance, if we're working together and Sally's learning about architecture, well, then I don't have to worry about architecture because it's boring to watch what something Sally is. So I'm going to think about integration. If I'm thinking about integration, Sally's thinking about architecture. Joe is thinking about how this is going to play with future requirements. And Mary's thinking about coding standards. And we have these conversations on all these levels about every single line of code. That allows us to make sure that we get higher quality. Because we're thinking about it from at least a different perspective for every person there. The next guideline is study sessions. The first hour of every day and the last 2 of every Friday are dedicated to studying. Right? That's at a 40-hour work week, that's 7 hours that we are paid to study. We do this because it keeps our skills fresh, keeps us up to date. Beyond that, how many of you have gone to a conference or a meetup and learned about some new, awesome technology that would work so well in your production? I have. I've got a couple ideas from here. And when I go back, I will have a safe environment in which to practice those things, to see if they will work. In past jobs I've worked in, I had plenty of fellow employees who would come back who've read about something, learned about something new, and said this would solve all our problems, and start implementing it into production. Get about 40 hours into it, and realize it doesn't actually work, and now it's going to take much more time to rip it out. And so that half-fulfilled thought lingers in code because they didn't have a safe place to play around with it. We had 7 million hours of every week now to play. And the last benefit we get is it keeps us happy. I don't know any developers who are in development to do the same exact thing every single day. Most developers I know love to learn. And now we get paid to learn. We can do it on work time. From all this learning, this next one came up, automation. We try to automate everything. If we do a task twice, we will spend time trying to automate it. Now let me give you a scenario. You have a 2-minute task. It takes you 2 minutes. You do that task 5 times a day. That costs you 10 minutes out of your day. Now you put 5 other people watching you do that 2-minute task 5 times a day. Theoretically, you wasted the manpower. Big deal. But more than that, everybody is bored and they've lost context. This is as bad as being interrupted when you're sitting there thinking about code. Right? And so, we will spend 40 hours to automate a 5-minute task. And we will see dividends on that time. There's another reason for this. So there's a book called Getting Things Done, which is surprisingly about getting things done. And the author talks about taking mundane tasks that need to get done and writing them down with a promise that you'll come back and look at them. The hope here is that you get the mundane stuff off your head so that you can pay attention to the more important things. Well, if we automate these mundane tasks, they're off our head permanently. We only have to go back to them if they change. And we're left to think about the more important tasks, the things that actually make money for the company. I want all of you to think about this last bit very seriously. Hunter Industries doesn't just allow us to have visitors. they encourage us to have visitors. We are encouraged to invite people to come and spend an entire day with us and interrupt our processes, interrupt our productivity. Now, why would we do this? Right? The reason we do this is twofold. The first of which is an easy sell. It's a chance to get back to the community. If you come and visit us, and there's something that we do that helps you do your job better, we've done some good in the world. The second part of this, though, is every single guest who has come and spent an entire day with us has taught us something. They asked us a question we didn't think about. They pointed out a tool chain we didn't know about. They showed us how better use one of our tools or IDEs or libraries in a way we never even knew existed. And we had to pay back on that. That's well worth that day. What you see here are a group of middle schoolers who came to spend 4 hours with us. Their math teacher was doing a teaching kids programming course. These kids were the graduates, and fortunately, through mutual friends, we were able to have them come visit us. Right now, I want you all to listen to me. I am inviting each and every one of you to come visit us if you get the chance. All right? I would love to spend a day hanging out with you, coding with you, learning from you with you. I'm backwards, that's why. Great. Come on. There you go. So, all the good that we have in mob programming came because of retrospectives. Mob programming wouldn't exist without a retrospective. What a retrospective really is just looking back at what has happened and gleaning information from it you can learn from. Some way you can improve your process. An example would be, take a piece of paper or a whiteboard, divide it into two pieces with half each set. Take everybody on the team, have them write down all the things over the last period that made them happy or made them sad. Once that activity is done, have them vote on which topics are the most important. And then discuss them. With each topic you discuss, come up with an action item. And the action item needs to be small. Something that is easily attainable and easily testable. Once you have those action items, choose one that is the one you're going to try. And then experiment. After the next little bit of time, the first thing you do in your respect is determine whether that action item made any difference. And was it positive or negative? Now, I said I wouldn't recommend mob programming, and I won't. But I will recommend retrospectives. It is a skill that has to be learned, has to be cultivated. But if you take nothing else from my talk, please take retrospectives. Literally nothing that we do would have the benefits it has without them. So, I talked a lot about learning. We spend 7 hours of every 40 learning. We invite guests so we can learn. We retrospect so we can learn. There's another type of learning that happens. We learn as a team. There's a study, it's cited in the paper at the end of the slide deck, but we link to it. I can't remember the guy's name now, please forgive me. This research was done on couples that have spent some time together. And there's an interesting thing that the researcher found out, which was that couples remember events that they've experienced together better than events they experienced individually. And more interesting than that, they remember events they experienced together better than individuals who experienced events together. And the reason for this was they shared context and language. As one member of the couple would start remembering something, they'd be able to draw similarities and contextual information from other events. And then get someone out and the other person would remember something. And so they did this shared knowledge and context that allowed them to build understanding. It takes us 4 hours to take a new hire who's never seen any of our code to being able to be productive in that code. They may not be 100% productive, but they're actually contributing real logic in 4 hours. Within 2 weeks, they are 100% capable in all of our code bases. And we have multiple. Right? As long as they're working on them, as long as they've touched them, and they've worked on them, in 2 weeks they're capable of them. Okay? That onboarding process couldn't happen without this shared context, without this ability to learn together. Now here's the part that's really my story, part of this. All this new stuff was really hard for me. Like I said, I got used to being the guy who came in and saved failed projects. That meant that I got to come in and dictate the way things were done, determine and command what was to be learned, order the processes that we would be using. You'll notice all the words that I used are very controlling words. I got used to being in control, and I got to like it. I joined this team at the time, 4 or 5 other developers who were all as skilled as I was. And I suddenly felt like I was drowning. Right? I didn't understand this information about the shared context and how we learn. I didn't have someone giving me this presentation to warn me. And so, there's a heuristic that I've heard, and I've come to believe from my past experiences, which is the average programmer programs 25 lines of code a day. Okay? That means that after a day's work, you've increased the code base by about 25 lines. There was an afternoon, working with the mob, that we took a 10,000 line project. In 4 hours, completely changed its architecture and released it to production. In 4 hours, we re-architected the entire application. I have never seen code move that fast in my life, and I couldn't keep up. I was so intently focused on trying to memorize and watch and understand every line of code change so that I could possibly keep up. No one would realize that I was falling behind, that I drank more caffeine in the first month that I worked at Hunter than I have any other month in my life. Okay? I would go home so tired that there were days I didn't play with my kids. There were days when I skipped dinner to go straight to bed. I was drowning, and I didn't know how these people were able to stay alive and do this. One day, we were switching tasks. I knew we had 2 minutes. 2 minutes. And then I would be lost. I grabbed my cup, and I had to get coffee. I ran to the coffee room, filled my cup of coffee, and in comes a BA who's working on the project, very insightful, and he started telling me about the nuanced piece of the software that he's discovered. Do you know how long I listened to him? About 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, I'm sitting there going, come on, shut up. You know I'm going to fall behind. Please be quiet. 2 minutes to quiet. Shut up. Come on. How can I end this? How can I get out of this? I need to get out of this conversation. I'm going to fall behind. My team's going to realize I'm not really as good as them. Please, be quiet. 5 minutes. grab my chair, pull it all the way back. No one look at me. I sit down, take my sip of coffee, and a really weird thing happened. Have any of you had a conversation with a big group of friends, and something calls you away, and then afterward, you come back, and you slip right into the conversation again? I slipped into the conversation again. But this wasn't a conversation, this was code. Kind of blew my mind. How does this work? Oops. Push the button. Okay, get to that. I started noticing that other people were taking breaks. There was one of my teammates who regularly stood up, left the building, and walked around the building. In a month, I never noticed that. I was too focused on not failing. It was important for me to take a break. Which brings me to the importance of Slack. Slack is that time when you're not directly productive, when you're not directly working on a problem. There's a myth in the software industry that in order for a team to be productive, they have to be 100% utilized. Now I want you to think for a second. Imagine yourself driving on a freeway. No one else is there. And in the blink of an eye, that freeway gets 100% utilized. Are you doing anything productive? I can tell you one thing you're doing very well: wasting fuel. This is how it is with programmers. We need time to digest, to analyze, to think about the choices we've made. And if a team is 100% productive or 100% utilized, they're not 100% productive. They're missing things. They're not going back and fixing mistakes they made. They're not realizing they made mistakes. They're not learning. So, I call the slide deck mob programming my first team. I have over 20 years of experience. Obviously, I've worked on other teams. In fact, I've worked on a team as large as 75 other developers. 22 QA. Okay? That's a big team. So there's a quote in the book Power of Habit, where he describes a football team as a group of individuals playing the same game for the same goal. And this is kind of how I come to feel about my past programming teams. We were individuals playing the same game for the same goal, but we weren't really a team. This was my first chance to experience real teamwork. It was enlightening. It was very different to have people there lifting you up when you started to fall, giving you a chance to rest and take breaths. We're interviewing. We've gone from 5 people to 18. We're going to grow to possibly 22. I don't bring this up because we're hiring, although we are. It's paper here. I bring it up because we have to think about interviewing different. You can't interview for our environment using standard interview. We don't try to interview using technical challenges, brain teasers, or anything like that. What we care about is how well can you deal with the emotions of other people. That's our first concern. Our second concern is how well can you communicate. Our third concern is how much do you know general programming practices and thoughts. We have to look at things differently because we have a very different environment. I'm often asked what makes a perfect mob. I can't tell you. I don't know. I know my environment. I can tell you things that get hard. If there's an egotist, it's going to be hard. If the environment's not safe for you to try new things, it'll be hard. If you can't communicate with one another, it's hard. If you are afraid, it's hard. I will tell you right now that your flaws become known. I am a miserable speller. There's not one member of my 18-person team who doesn't know that. Because the minute I take that keyboard, guess what? Someone's sitting there looking up a dictionary. Promise you don't know the language, you're going to know. You're vulnerable. You got to be willing to be vulnerable. So, on a personal note, I was talking to my wife. I was telling her that I'm really happy working with Hunter Industries. She turns to me and she goes, yeah, me too. Really? What is it? Is it the fact that I come home every day on time? Is it, am I home in a better mood? She goes, no, you've learned to listen better. That had bled over to my family. When I went to work for Hunter Industries, I went there to learn better software practices. In order to communicate effectively amongst the team, I've learned to listen better. I'm not perfect. There are members of my team who gladly tell you that I'm not perfect at it, but they all agree that I'm getting better. I did not expect to learn to be a better person, right? And I do feel that I'm a better person because of the social skills that I've been forced to hone, forced to be better at in order to be effective. I have to say thank you to Hunter Industries. They're built on innovation. That innovation allowed them to discover mob programming. They hired me after the fact. After they hired me, they encouraged me to write this paper. They encouraged me to give this talk. They wanted me to come here and share my experience. And so I got to think, yes, this is all my own information, it's all my opinion, but I really feel like it couldn't happen without them. This is how you find me. I'm most easily reached by Twitter. But there's my blog, my GitHub, where these slides are, along with some other stuff. The paper is there if you want, if you're interested. Thank you. And is there any questions? Yes?
So you said that you will spend 40 hours evaluating a 5-minute task.
Yes.
So for that to pay dividends, you have to have done that 480 times over a given period of time. Is that the math you do, or is there more that goes into that decision?
There is more that goes into it.
What is it?
We figure for every context switch that we suffer 30 minutes of code per person. You look at a team of 6, that's an awful lot of man hours. You know, and beyond that, once it's automated, typically what we find is that one person's doing a task repetitively, the rest of the team is doing it, they just haven't realized it. And we actually end up saving that time across all 18 people. So it does help. Yes?
So how do you switch between members again?
We have a timer that comes up. In it, it has randomly decided amongst the people who are sitting at that station the order in which they're going to rotate. And then for the day, they rotate in that order. And we rotate about every 7 minutes.
Because of the time slot is going to be.
That's what we're doing now. We've got everything from 25 to 2.
Okay.
We found that for us, at the current time, 7 minutes was best. Anything else? Yes?
Is there any interest in like that? I think it would be really cool to see like a team's velocity or something. However they measure their like performance or how much they do, like before and after trying this. Has there been any interest in maybe trying that out eventually?
What I can tell you is that before we did this, it took 18 months to deploy about 5,000 lines of code. We now deploy once a day at a minimum. And we produce a lot more code than 18,000 We've also, when I was hired, the director at the time interviewed me and asked me if I was willing to do this because they weren't going to change, because they have bug reports that show that they used to spend $100,000 on bugs a year, and they don't spend that anymore. Yes.
What do you do if one of the members of your team is a really slow typer?
Two things. We actually have this. This happens. The first thing is it doesn't affect us that much because it's actually I'll do three things. Sorry. The first is it doesn't affect us that much because it's 7 minutes. In 7 minutes they're going to be off. The second thing is that person tends to be very self-conscious about it. And the third thing is, with that self-conscious, they tend to take some of their learning sessions to study, to practice typing. The second thing is if they are really feeling bad about it and in order to make them feel better, we will actually do activities designed to help everyone type because it'll help. And that's kind of how we show consideration to them. We don't do that, that makes them feel weird. But we've had a couple people take us up on that, and we do typing groups, during a learning session or an extended learning session. I'm not saying I see you next.
So,
Yes.
so how did you get this initializing the very first? So you say that you want it, right? But somebody has to initialize this process.
It happened because the person asked for help, and the team helped him. And afterward, they said this was awesome. They wanted to do it for the next remaining projects. And they were retrospecting the thing about every 3 days. And every retrospective was this was awesome, and they just kept doing it. The team did it themselves. And management allowed it to happen. So that's truly amazing, is that management did allow it to happen. I never worked at a company where that could have ever worked. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
You mentioned someone just look at it, might use their learning session morning, so we're gonna study, everyone's working on it together, or do people do individual stuff during that time?
We tend to do individual stuff for most of that. We will do some coordinated learning sessions. So you get to self-guide. You get to choose what you want to learn. You don't even have to promise it's going to pay back. We just take it on faith. Anything else? Yes.
What do you think about software craftsmanship?
Oh, we take it very, very, very seriously. We actually practice test-driven development. We buy everyone a copy of clean code, working effectively with legacy code, and factoring in patterns. They're highly recommended reading. We will do organized learning sessions around code craftsmanship. It is very, very seriously looked at because we know that if the code is fragile, we can't change it as fast. The example where I said we changed the architecture, that project was 85% unit tested. That's what allowed that to actually happen.
Kind of leads into the question is actually a good segue. I was going to ask is, so assuming those books that you mentioned, I have an idea of the languages they're using. Right? And I've done that for over a decade, using this sort of imperative language. I find that when I'm working with sort of functional kind of languages, especially more sort of strongly platforms, the code density in terms of what the unit accomplishes is much more so than, say, compared to imperative. I was wondering how that sort of affects working with people in that sense.
Okay. I did forget one story in this. I was worried about controllers. This actually allowed me to become a functional programmer this last time because I suddenly had room where I was thinking about stuff other than production. So that allowed me to become a functional programmer. I think my team has benefited from that. And even though we are a local shop, there's 2 of us who are very heavily involved in functional programming, and the company has actually paid for us to do a 1-day workshop where for everybody to get some experience with functional programming. People are starting to see the benefit of it, and we'll move forward that way when we get there. We're trying to slowly bring everybody up.
I was just curious because the amount of density that's in there, it's quite compact.
Yes, it is.
Working with imperative language, my background is Java, right? So it's points like everything, because you're trying to figure out how things are coordinated, how things are set up. And it's a lot of jumping around, because it's simply because the language doesn't support.
Well, we are doing a lot of functional programming in both JavaScript and C#. Obviously, you're not doing well, but we are doing it. I've been doing things that related around it and doing basic code because I found the functions were just easier than they could be. You know, so that's kind of really, enjoy functional programming, and people are getting them. It's just, it's going to take time. We will have to see what happens as that happens. But people are learning it, their curiosity is starting to peak. Can't say entirely yet, we haven't had experience.
I'd be really curious to see how that affects the dynamics between individuals when you're sitting and thinking about problems.
Yeah.
Hey, can we do questions after? We gotta keep a move on to
Okay.
get to the keynote on time. So you guys are welcome to talk more, but if you don't mind just stepping out so you can move on to the next talk.
Thank you, everybody.